You're not actually locked in. What do you mean by that? The word lock in gets thrown around more than a shawty without a father who just enrolled into college. What does it truly mean to lock in? To lock in is to do what the masses won't, which is consistently doing things you don't want to do. You're probably sitting there right now thinking you're locked in, but let me ask you this. What do you actually do in a day? What do you do in a week? What do you do in a month? I go gym, I go study, I go work. Congratulations, you made it to become a normal functioning human. These are not things you should be proud of. The nicer you are on yourself, the less growth you have. Greatness doesn't come from complacency, it comes from struggle and sacrifice. Take me for example. I really didn't want to goon this morning, but guess what? I gooned. Even when times were hard, my dick was harder. I'm like, I don't really goon anymore, but... Well, actually, I technically do, but not to like freaky videos online or like... manhwa. I like just goon to my girlfriend. I wake up, I close my eyes, I just rub one out. I'm not even looking at my phone. On some imagination shit. Is that healthy? I don't know. I wouldn't really consider that gooning though. Because gooning isn't the action. It's a concept, it's a nature of things. Is that gooning or is that romance? If you're sitting there on your ass right now thinking, don't be so hard on yourself. You should be proud of the little things. Everyone is different. You're lying to yourself. You really think when a girl looks at your shit and goes, damn, that shit big, you think she's not lying? Same concept, man. Same exact concept. She lying. You lying. Everyone takes life at their own pace. I'm a cheetah, you a turtle. This is how you stay at that low level. You are never gonna reach prestige master if you keep playing in bot lobbies. I don't like to work hard, cause it hurts. You need to be real with yourself. My favorite question I like to ask people who think they're locked in is to name 5 things you achieved in your life. 99% of the time, people don't have an answer, or if they do, they're too embarrassed to say it because they know they ain't really grind for that shit. I couldn't even answer my own question until recently. And another question I always ask people is, when was the last time you tried your best? Truly. And not one person can confidently say, heart all up on the chest, out, and name one time. For me, there was only one time I've tried my best in my entire life, actually. Might not seem like much, but you realize that people don't actually try their best at anything, including me. You see, when I first started running, I had no running experience ever in my life. I was that kid in the sports carnival that sat out, didn't participate. I would make excuses as to why I didn't want to participate. I'll be like, shit, I ain't got the right shoes today. Oh, my stomach hurts. I just don't feel like it. Come on, bro. We all know that one kid. The maximum activity my legs got in my entire life before I ran was going up the stairs to McDonald's second floor to go to the toilet. So I started running for the first time in my life about a year ago, and guess what? I lost a whopping 3 minutes of running. I gooned longer than that. And then 3 weeks later, after running for the first time, I kept reading online. It takes months to run 10 kilometers. It takes 6 months to run a half marathon. It takes ages to run a marathon. You see, I wanted to prove something to myself that I get shit done. That even though the odds were against me, my mind was stronger. So 3 weeks into running for the first time in my life, I attempted a 21 kilometer, a half marathon, 13 miles. It was genuinely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I did it with no food, no water, and low sleep and non-recovered legs. It felt like I was playing maximum difficulty in an elite level mission. And did I finish that shit? Of course I did. Not only did I cramp up multiple times during that run, my hamstring was low-key pulled, I literally couldn't put any extra force on it if I wanted to. I ran until I dropped. I dropped twice. Drop doesn't mean little stumble, I literally collapsed to the floor on my knees on concrete. And I finished it with like 6 pegs. That may not be fast to runners, but mind you, I've never ran before. And I attempted a 21k, no food, no water, no experience. Just a pure grit, do, and despair, and the will to be better. See, I literally ran when my legs didn't want to run. I ran when the sweat fell into my eyes and I couldn't see. I ran and I ran and I needed to finish. Just like gooning, same concept. Why was I so bothered? I didn't even post about it online. I just ran. Because I wanted to see what I was capable of if I truly tried my best. Why am I telling you all this? Because everybody is capable. Everybody can do it. Everybody's that guy. You just need to try your goddamn best. Don't bullshit me saying you tried your best but you just couldn't. If you're not on the floor incapable of moving, you're not done. And this doesn't just apply to running. It's every concept in life. Working on a business, studying, improving yourself, hitting the gym. You're not done. How do you know if you're actually done? You see, you're not finished until you reach the end. And the end is when you die.